From 1973 till 2007, Australia had the very good fortune of playing host to one of India's leading exponents of the Sarod, Pandit Ashok Roy. Tabla player and student of Ashok Roy, Bobby Singh.
He studied with one of the greatest Sarod player, Ali Akbar Khan. Alauddin Khan was Ali Akbar Khan's father. So that lineage, the Rampur Maihar Gharana, is a very, very, very prestigious lineage. So in India, Ashok Roy had massive amount of love and respect.
I'll tell you one great thing is that music in India is just not only merely for entertainment, but it is something else. And music is a very much part of spiritualism, anything in which you concentrate.
You cannot be a good performing artist unless you respect the traditions. I was trained when I was a child of 6-7 years, singing, how to sing notes.
Again, you could see the relation between the notes, which is something very unique in our system. I mean, we don't sing da 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 It's always desirable to learn a little bit of singing. Why? Because after all, what we play, we sing inside, it comes out.
At the age of 17, Ashok Roy won the All India Instrumentalist of the Year competition, launching his career as a soloist. He toured across India, performing at all the major music festivals, and was an A-grade artist with All India Radio. SURMANI, Pearl of Melody, was a title he was awarded by Sursinga Samsad, a cultural organisation in Bombay. After touring and recording in Europe in the late 60s, Ashok Roy took up a position with the Indian Council for Cultural Relations as a musical ambassador to Fiji. It was here that he met Nancy Grover, a concert promoter from Sydney, who first brought him to Australia in 1973.
I went to Nandi and I had been invited to listen to him play. And then, of course, it hit me. The sound, it was deeper. And you know, it's the first time in my life that I have felt music in the heart. I really was taken very much by this instrument.
Friends, I'm going to play Rag Pahari Jhinjhoti, Alap, Jod and Jhala, followed by two compositions in Teen Tal, that is 16 beats to a bar, in slow tempo and fast tempo. This rag depicts a mood of sorrow and peace.
In the 80s, Ashok Roy took up teaching positions at Monash and Melbourne Universities. In 1987, he settled in Sydney to become Artistic Director of the Australian Institute of Eastern Music.
try to understand, we try to think what exactly is raga. I mean, we talk about raga. Many people they think that raga is a beautiful color combination, it's a beautiful mood. But according to my teacher who tried to explain what raga is a melodic law and order which is aesthetically conceived and conventionally established. Like for example, rag, yama, it starts from ni. Ni, re, ga, re, ni, re, sa. We generally will not start. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, ga, ni, sa, sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. This is the scale. It's not a rag. The rag is ni, re, ga, ga, re, ni, da, ni, re, sa. This is the melodic structure. Ni, re, ga, ma, pa, ma, ga, re, ni, re, ma, ga, re.
He toured across the country and across the region, giving performances and lecture demonstrations in concert halls, festivals, art galleries and universities. He was often accompanied on these tours by Adrian McNeil, ethnomusicologist at Monash University and long-standing student of Ashok in the traditional guru-disciple way.
He was a special person. He was a real thing. No pretensions, nothing about him. He had this wonderful personality, openness. Whatever happened, happened. That was his idea. He was working as an artist rather than as an orthodox musician. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. He inspired people. I think that's a humbling thing about the music. The tradition is so enormous that you're just like a little tiny grain in this. And Ashokji had that sensibility. It was like, you know, I don't know anything either, so let's not know anything together.
The 80s and 90s were the dawn of what we now call world music, and Ashok Roy was one of the pioneers here in Australia, a senior representative of the Hindustani tradition, experimenting with cross-cultural collaborations. These included Sangam, with cellist and student of Ashok Roy, John Napier.
Someone who has actually dedicated everything for all their life to learning and assimilating, embodying, transmitting this whole music. And that has not been something in which short-term goals seem to have played a part. Of course, it's well known he learned singing and then tabla and then sarod. So 10 years before he actually touched the instrument, which became his mode of expression. That sort of complete immersion it's something that's very, very hard to reproduce, and very few music systems now make the space for that sort of immersion to actually occur.
Lavanya was a meeting of Macedonian, Japanese, West African and Indian traditions, led by multi-instrumentalist Lindsay Pollack.
I think we've got a great deal to learn from the non-English speaking cultures that are present in Australia in terms of how music can be a very vital part of our lives. I'm thinking we should maybe change the theme a bit to feel better in innate. For me, that's the important part of music, the way that it brings a community together, the way that individuals can express themselves.
We take it music in a very spiritual manner. When you're playing with other people, so you may not have that. So that sometimes it becomes really very difficult to fuse music with like especially with the Western music, which is based on harmony, Indian music based on melody. I could see a lot of similarities between Japanese and Indian music.
To India with Love was a collaboration with flamenco guitarist Robbie Varga, Ashok Roy with Bobby Singh and Peter Kennard on percussion, and vocalist Sumathi Krishnan.
There is a saying in India that you can only take how much your bowl can contain. But in Ashokji's case, I would say that it was a very large bowl, and it was very full and overflowing. And so he had a lot to give. He would say, when you sing, you need to relish the note and absorb the sound of the note and enjoy it. Enjoy the sound. But he would sit anywhere and people were rapt with what he played. What is that element that captures the attention of the audience? It's being in love with it.
Often by his side was tabla player Bobby Singh, who accompanied him in concerts around the country and who Ashok mentored from an early age.
Can you clap, please?
Where I am today is all because of him, without a doubt. He taught me the art of accompaniment. The way he thought of music was very different. It was like an older form of playing. They created a lot on the spot. They did a lot of what we call layakari, really odd ways of approaching the one in the cycle, really out there the highs, never fixed. You never knew what he was going to do.
So unconsciously or consciously you're following the feel for it. I mean, it's not necessarily that you have to count it. You have to feel for it. Unless and until you feel for the rhythm, it's not going to come.
But when he went back and played, by then time and things in India had changed, players had come and gone, and that style of playing was suddenly rare. So this whole new generation of people, listeners and players, were like, what's he doing? That's incredible. Who is he? Because there was only one person left, and that was Akbar Khan, and he was living in the States. So these other senior musicians like Shiv Kumar Sharma and Amjad and all these guys were telling him, if you are here, you should be teaching this. We need this to continue. So there was this whole wave of support and love for him and respect.
What we are playing now, it's all improvised, except for the first composition, that is the theme. That's a very big. When I am playing my theme music, he's improvising. And when I am playing my music, he's keeping the basic rhythm. That's how it works in the beginning.
Amongst so many things that he gave me and taught me, one of the most important things I would say is that concept of love. What matters is that when you play together, you feel something in your heart. And it doesn't matter if they are the unknown musician.
Now he's keeping the rhythm.
You know, you're playing in the midst of no one, in the middle of a little cafe in the Enmore, doesn't matter. You'd be like, it doesn't matter, but the feeling and the love is what matters the most. Any Australians who understood anything about music, who got to study or play with him, they're still sitting in awe going, my God, I can't believe I played with that guy and didn't even know it then, you know, what he was and who he was. And that level of playing, we still have never had anyone of his stature, of an absolute master, recognized master musician from India living here. We've never had that. I don't think we ever will.